Hello, this is a fun bonus video. So if you have the tutorial for my paper flowers, there's a paper flower tutorial. I will leave the link for that in the comments. But anyway, the paper flower tutorial, we make a large flower and we make some small flowers, and these can be used for a lot of different things. And I wanted to show you a little option for making framed shadow box artwork with these. Okay, so what you will need, and I will also have some affiliate links with supplies listed below as well. But what I did is I have my shadow box frame. So this is a 6x6" frame, and what you want to make sure you do before you start is you want to measure and make sure that your 6x6 board will fit, because sometimes these are off a little bit. So you just want to check that. And let me check, this is the one that we're going to be using. So it looks like that should fit, and we might need to trim it a little bit. Okay, so I have a 6x6 frame, and then I have my board. This is Crescent Perfect Mount adhesive mounting board. So this peels back and there's sticky, and you can put your paper down onto that. So what I did is I went ahead and already did this one. So the paper is stuck down, and ideally what you want to do is stick the paper down to this and put some books on top of it or something heavy and let it sit for at least half a day before you start working. And that way you make sure it's going to be nice and flat and everything is going to be stuck down there really well. Okay, so we have that, and then we have 9 of the small paper flowers, or I'm going to show you could also use one large paper flower for this. And then what I have done is I have cut some paper pieces to make kind of like a mat board, right? I just use regular paper. This, and again, there's links in the comments for the type of paper I use, but you know, just picked colors that went along with my flowers. So what I did here, and I have a little diagram. So the pink has a 1.5" border. The orange is 1.25" wide. The green is 1 inch wide, and the blue is 3/4 inch wide. And so that way you have a 1/4 inch showing of all of your colors. So, and if you've ever worked in a framing shop like I did for a little while, then usually about a 1/4 inch is the gap you'll have if you have a double mat, or in this case we have 4. And again, this is just paper, it's not mat board. You could use mat board if you wanted, and it would look fantastic as well. Okay, so just showing you, this is all flat and layered, and it would go in your shadow box. And if you wanted, you could glue and have a large flower, and that would just be so beautiful. Have your large flower, or what we are going to do today is do 9 small ones, okay? So just to help with lining everything up, what I'm going to do is measure, and we will try to find the center here. And I'm going to take these away. So 3 inches in, let me make sure I'm keeping this. Sorry, I'm new to making videos, so just make sure I keep this within the frame so you guys can see what I'm working on. And then 3 inches, because this is, again, you want this to find the center point of the board. And so we're just very lightly going to put a line right there in the middle. Line right here in the middle. And that is where the center flower is going to go. So I'm going to erase everything except that little spot right in the middle. And then we are going to place that on top. And again, that gives a good guide for the borders. And then we're just going to use some glue. So I'm just going to find a little scrap of paper here. And this is Lineco Neutral pH adhesive. I really love this one, but really any white glue will do, but I like this one because it's archival. So that does mean that your artwork will last a long time and not yellow or deteriorate or anything like that. Okay, so I have a toothpick and I've already figured out the layout of how I want my flowers to go in the grid. So I'm going to pick the middle one. And as you can see, this has, from the tutorial, there's just the little stem right there. We're going to put the blob of glue on the stem and we are going to put it right on top. So we're going to get that as, as close to the middle as we can. And you know what? This does not have to be perfect, okay? No one is going to notice if it is off by a micron or whatever, right? So, and if you want to be really detailed, you can go in and measure and place dots for all of your flowers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be crazy and just kind of eyeball the other ones. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. And again, if you do a bigger blob of glue, that will give you some time to reposition as well. So if you put these down and you realize, oh, I need to move something over a little bit, you totally can. You'll have plenty of time. Okay. So look, yeah, see, I want to move this one. I want to scooch that up just a little bit. Okay, and then I think for the top row, I'm going to start with the center one and put that right there. Okay, and see this one's looking a little crooked, so I'm going to kind of adjust that. And I'm going to do our last row down here. And then, oh, almost out of glue. Just kind of scraping that off the paper there. Okay. All right, so there we have it. We have our flowers all glued on. We are going to just want to wait a few minutes and let that dry. But I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. It starts to dry pretty quickly. Just maybe give it, you know, maybe give it an hour to dry, depending on how much glue you have. And then that one, I'm going to reposition a little bit. So we'll let that dry, and then I'm going to put it into the frame. And like I mentioned before, you might need to trim off some edges a little bit before you put it in the frame. But next I'll just show you how it looks when it's framed after it's dried. Okay, so now everything is dry, and I did have to trim off a little bit of these mats a bit. You can see here's my trimmings here. I used a metal ruler and an Excel knife with number 11 blades to trim that off. And I have it ready to frame. So what I have not done yet, but that I recommend before you get it into the frame, is to give it a nice good clean with some glass cleaner, microfiber cloth, to get all the dust out. So I will do that before I frame it to hang, but I just wanted to quickly show you. All you will need to do is just kind of pop this in, and there is your framed artwork. And then again, this one on the back, you just would put this in and these slide into place, and you have your hook there to hang. And then also, I just wanted to give you guys another option. If you're a little bit more minimalist, you can also just skip those mats and you can do something like this as well, which also looks really, really nice. So just wanted to share that option. And again, you can also do this with one of the large flowers. Instead of the small ones, you could do a combination of large and small ones. There are really so many different options on how you can frame these dimensional flowers. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really love paper cutting and making art, and I hope this is helpful to you and you find it inspiring. And please like, subscribe, and comment. I'm just getting started on my video tutorial journey, so I would appreciate so very much if you would let me know what you think. If you have any questions, have a beautiful day.